Hi, this is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life. And we are on week 21, day 4. Yes, I just had to look down and check. Day 4 of our positive, peaceful affirmations that we are doing every day, Monday through Friday. We are following Dr. Susan Lawton's Positive Peaceful Growth Calendar. That is the perfect combining of positive affirmations and music therapy and aromatherapy essential oils. So if you love all those three, you're gonna really want to get the book. It has tips in it that I just don't mention because you got to get the book to get the full thing anyway. But that said, love Dr. Susan Lawton, love her book. Definitely recommend buying it. That said, the affirmation for this week is I am drawing to me resources to complement my goals. I think that when we're intentional about what we're trying to do, and as we use prayer, as we ask for things that we need from our Heavenly Father, that the universe moves in miraculous ways to help us get where we want to get to and what we need. So that's the affirmation for this week. We've talked a lot about the different resources, so I'm not going to go back and talk about that, but I'm going to go on to the affirmation for today, which is I have a lot of positive to offer in my business and my personal relationships. I'm just going to repeat that. I have a lot of positive to offer in my business and personal relationships. I love that. We all have so much to give. So much to give. I know many people who think I don't have anything to offer, or the world isn't going to want what I have to give, right? And that is just not true. Just not true. You are amazingly and wonderfully made. God made us all. And He made us, and He sat us down in this time in history when the world needed exactly who we are, and when those around us needed exactly who we are. So, as I was thinking about, well, who are some people? What are some populations that might not think that, oh, people don't need what I have to offer? Anyway, so I have 9 children and 6 grandchildren, and so, and parents and sisters and whatever. So, well, at least a sister. So, I wanted to kind of go through the age range of how we're all important. So I want to start with babies, because babies might, I don't know what babies think. I can't remember when I was a baby. But babies, maybe they're already getting into that. I don't know. No one wants what I have to offer. But have you ever noticed that when you have a baby in your house, that's what people want to hold when they come through the door? And when little ones, so sticking with babies for a minute. When you hold a baby, it's so calming. It's so relaxing. Now, I know if babies are crying, then it has the opposite effect, and it can be agitating. But as we're calming babies, as we're nursing babies, there's just this incredible sense of calm and love that comes to us. Babies are so happy. They're doing things. They're wiggling. They're progressing. And as we watch the babies progress, we're like, oh my gracious! You worked and worked and worked to turn over, and now you're working and working and working to crawl. Babies can be so inspiring. They're amazingly calming, and they're inspiring, right? Do babies have a gift to offer the world? Yeah, they do. Okay, so let's move on to toddlers. So I have a 4-year-old right now, and Do you know who everyone wants to connect with in my house? It's my little 4-year-old, right? They want to love on him. They want to, I don't know, rough and tumble with him. They want to play with them and read him stories and just cozy up to him, tickle him. Why? Because he's so delightful. And it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or girl. When you're 4, you have this energy and this incredible vibe to you, right? And this tape is gonna be super long if I go through every single age range. But like when I have a 10-year-old, right? So when you're just in that that I don't know, elementary school age group, you're still so tender. You're still so loving and cuddly and but you're getting your own ideas, and it's fun to see your ideas emerging, right? And you have a lot to offer to people. You have this incredible influence. And teenagers, oh my goodness, you're moving into the leadership roles. You're maybe you're the leader of the children right now. Maybe you're just a younger child. It doesn't really matter where you fall in your family. But what I've noticed is that teenagers are starting to get that logical thought going, right? And so they can be kind of start to be some of the correctors of maybe some family dynamics that aren't going well. They can I'm not saying that they have to be that. I'm not trying to put that responsibility on them. I'm just saying that excuse me. I always want to model drinking good water, right? Anyway, but teenagers, and they have this energy, like they listen to music. Like, does anyone listen to music like teenagers do? They just bring in this gift of music and a gift of newness, and remind parents that life is often the same, but it changes too, right? And so teenagers have so much to give, and parents have so much to give, and yes, everyone needs parents, whether you're a baby or a toddler or elementary school, whether you're a teenager, whether we're in our 50s or 70s, we all need parents. We all need those people whose number one thing in life is to love on us and to try to guide us to a better path. And that's kind of what teenagers do. And grandparents, I'm a parent and I'm a grandparent, right? And grandparents have this gift of just making people feel good, of watching what's going on and complimenting it, of maybe correcting things every once in a while, of everyone. So there's this song that goes that goes like this. It goes, "It's always fun when Grandpa comes. When Grandpa comes, hooray. He always says the kindest things in the kindest way." And grandparents have an ability to bring a lightness, and I'm just going to cry, a lightness and a joy to the situation I think that they've seen. By the time you get to be a grandparent, and I'm a new grandparent, well, 6 children, grandchildren, but I still just in my 50s, so I feel like I'm just like a baby grandparent. But my dad, he's like a wise master grandparent who's seen so much in his life and has so much wisdom to share. The presence that grandparents... Caleb, you're going to have to go get me a Kleenex, hun. Please, thank you. Crying here. So the wisdom that grandparents have to share is just amazing. If you're married, you have something to share. If you're single, you have something to share. You have something to give. If you are a homemaker, you have so much to give. And if you work outside your home, you have so much Thank you, hon. You have so much to give. It doesn't even matter who you are. You have something to give that no one else can give. And that's what the affirmation is all about today. I'm just going to repeat the affirmation again. I have a lot of positive to offer in my business and personal relationships. And I would just tack something on to the end of it, and people are going to respond amazingly to what I have to give. Or maybe tack on, and the world needs what I have to give, and they're going to respond amazingly. Anyway, so there's actually a song called I Have a Lot to Give that I discovered when I was researching this affirmation, and I'll put that into the comments. I'm not exactly even sure who sings it. Someone, if you know who, you can put it in the comments, but anyway, so that's a song that we're pairing. I just really want us to think, okay, so you know how I love journaling too. So in this book, it basically pairs the affirmation with the song, with the diffuser blend, right? I love incorporating a fourth element into it, and maybe a fourth and a fifth element into it, and that's journaling. So as we're journaling today, what I want us to do is and you can choose it to do this or not, but what might be helpful for all of us to do is to journal about, what do I have to give? Who are the people in my circle? What do I have to give to the world? What do I have to give to my family members? What do I have to give to my neighborhood and my community? Maybe my church, maybe whatever circles and communities you run in. I want us to think about, what are my unique gifts that I have to give? The more we recognize our strengths and our unique gifts, the more we can be authentic and live authentically and let our light shine out, knowing that someone absolutely needs the brand of light that we share. Okay. So, that said, we are going to be moving on to the diffuser blend part of our shout out. And we're diffusing this week 2 drops of ginger, which is the oil of empowerment. Talked about that on Tuesday. And the emotional gifts of that on Tuesday. And then 2 drops of Helichrysum, which is the oil for physical and emotional pain. I talked about that yesterday. And then we're diffusing, and also 2 drops of coriander, which is the oil of integrity. And we're going to be talking about the emotional gifts of coriander today. And Caleb, can you grab me that paper that I just printed? So, as we're talking about the emotional gifts of coriander, and why is the oil of integrity? Thanks, hon. Here they are. So, here's what it is. What I think the number 1 gift of coriander is. It's so helpful for those who are trapped in a cycle of serving others and not ourselves. When I read this, I thought of Gretchen Rubin, who's a New York Times bestselling author, and she wrote a book called The 4 Tendencies. And she has a blog, she has a podcast. Oh my gracious! If you haven't taken her test of the 4 Tendencies, please do. I think you're going to get so much from it. But I know I did. I got so much from it. But basically, she splits people into 4 groups, okay? And it all goes to how well do you keep promises to yourself and to others. So if you're super good at keeping promises to yourself and keeping promises to others, then you are an upholder. Okay? And if you are super good at keeping promises to yourselves, but not the best about keeping promises to others, I don't even know that I'm saying this one right, but anyway, you're super good at keeping promises to yourself, maybe not the best at keeping promises to others, then it is, you are questioner. And kind of a main questioner, a little bit more am a questioner. So basically, okay, I think I said that wrong. I'm gonna erase what I said. We're gonna go. Okay, so if you're super good at keeping what you want to do and what the world wants you to do, then you're an upholder. Okay, does that make a little more sense? Okay, if you're super good at doing what you want to do, but you don't tend to buy into to everything that the world wants you to do, then you're a questioner. Okay, and basically, you basically look at what the world kind of tells you that you should do, and you say, do I agree with that or not agree with that? And if you agree with what the world wants you to do, then absolutely you're going to keep it. But if you disagree with what the world wants you to do, then you're probably just going to leave it alone. You're not going to do it. Let me give you some examples of a questioner. So, most of the world says you should go to public school. A questioner might look at that and say, do I really think that's the best? Do some study on it and say, no, I think that going to a private school is better, or going to or homeschooling is better. Like, a questioner is going to question it. Okay, so that's one example. Another thing a questioner might question is, the world says you should give birth in a hospital, right, with doctors. And a questioner might say, do I really think that's the best? And they might do their own research and say, you know what, I think for me and my body and my circumstances, I think a midwife at home might be better, okay? So a questioner is going to look at the society norms and question it, and if they like it, they're going to do it. And if they don't like it, they're not going to do it. But they're going to, as soon as they decide that they do like it, they keep it like an upholder does. So a holder keeps their own standards and worlds. They're kind of one and the same. And a questioner keeps their own standards and not the world's, unless they buy into them. Okay, so then you have an appeaser, and the appeaser is really what I wanted to talk about big time today, because I think coriander would be an amazing oil for appeasers. Okay, just like an amazing oil. So this is what an appeaser is, according to not doctor, but according to Gretchen Rubin. And so an appeaser is someone who has their own things that they want to do, and has a very, very hard time for keeping their own goals and reaching their own goals. But if someone else wants them to do it, they will absolutely be there for them. They put other people's needs ahead of their own. And it's really, really interesting that for appeasers, the further out in your circle they are, the more they're going to keep that and help that. For example, appeasers will keep their spouses and family goals better than will keep their own. They will keep their work goals better than what their family needs. They'll put like work over family. And then they will help a stranger even before they will help someone with work. So the further out you are in your circle away from the appeaser's core, the more they're going to help you, the more they're going to keep that. And so appeasers, they often have the ability to be the ones that might fall to peer pressure, because someone wants to go to a movie that they don't want to go to, or to drink alcohol or whatever, and they're like, no, I don't want to, but you do. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so are you following me a little bit on what kind of appeasers kind of can tend to be like? Okay, and then the last one that Gretchen Rubin talks about is rebels, who don't keep their own standards and don't achieve their own goals, and they push away society standards too. And all of these things have gifts, and they all have and some problems that they kind of have to deal with. But I really, really wanted to talk about appeasers, because I thought the cilantro super matched very, very closely to appeasers, because they're trapped in a cycle of serving others before serving themselves. And when this happens over and over again, serving others, suppressing self, serving others, suppressing self, serving others, suppressing selves, people can start to get angry. They can start to get very resentful. They can start to get very, very depressed, because their own goals are always being sacrificed for someone else's. Okay? And so cilantro oil can help. And the way it can help is it can help us remember that we matter too. Like, that we matter, whoever we are, we matter too. And we matter equally. Like God said, love, like Jesus said, love your neighbor as yourself. He didn't say love your neighbor better than yourself. He didn't say love your neighbor, ignore yourself. He said love your neighbor as yourself. That means you get to love yourself too, right? And anyway, so coriander essential oil can have help people who have a hard time saying no to people. Again, putting other people first to the detriment of themselves. Coriander essential oil helps remember we've got to have something in our cup if we want to help others. If we're always giving, and we're never taking the time to replenish our own needs, we will become depleted and have nothing to give. Or be resentful givers because we are just taking so much out of us. So, anyway, it also, coriander essential oil. Now, some people who are like that can get into a very victim mentality. And we kind of talked about that when we were talking about ginger. So you might want to go back and check that if you seem to have a huge victim mentality. Ginger can super help with that. But another gift of coriander essential oil is that it helps us take responsibility for our own others. We can't be the people who say, oh, I can't get this done because so-and-so needed it. We can't just keep pushing that blame on other people. We actually have to take responsibility for our own choices. And if we're choosing to sacrifice our own needs to help someone else, we need to take responsibility. We made that choice. We weren't forced into that choice. No one forced us to do anything for them. We made the choice. Just like everyone else. People who are appeasers or people who have a hard time saying no to people do have the choice. So they can't just say, oh, I only did it because you forced me. No. Like, we need to stop it. Like, that way. If you're doing something, you've got to take responsibility for your action. We all. Put it that way. If we are doing something that we don't want to be doing, we need to take responsibility for that. Right? And we need to step out of that zone, and we need to come back to doing what we think we should be doing most. Okay? So not pushing the actions on someone made me do it, someone influenced me to do it, I didn't want to drink, but I was out with the crowd. No, we're not pushing our actions on anyone else. We're taking responsibility. And again, coriander is the oil of integrity. We're having integrity for what we do. Okay. So coriander. Okay, so one thing about coriander, I kind of forgot to tell you where it's from. So really quick, I'm going to go back to that. And it's from Northern Africa, Southern Europe, and Southwestern Asia. And the coriander actually comes from cilantro. So the cilantro plant actually gives us two separate essential oils, right? It gives us the seed, which is the coriander, and I don't even know if it's called the cilantro plant or the coriander plant. Anyway, whatever it is. Anyway, but it gives us the coriander seed, and then it gives us so that's where coriander essential oil comes from, and then it gives us the leaf, which is where cilantro essential oil comes from. And I'll tell you something about that in just a minute. But anyway, because coriander is a seed, they say that seeds, you know how trees can ground us, and citrus oils tend to be uplifting. Seeds tend to bring us back to our core. Our core that says, can say different things to us, but the coriander seed kind of reminds us we are just as important as anyone else. So if we tend to be walked on or stepped on or pushed around, if we tend to give up our personal power to the influence of others and just be followers, right? We're just followers. Coriander brings us back to who we are and says, stop it. you have a mission in life. Quit following people that you don't even think is good to follow. Come back and start leading your own life. I'm hoping that makes sense. So, coriander can help us honor who we are, bring us back to who we are, loving who we are. It can also help us remind ourselves that not only are we just as important as everyone else, but no one is below us. So if we tend to put people above us or below us, then coriander can remind us that everyone is equally important in life. Okay. Coriander can help us release fears and doubts and other things that slow us down and take us away from accomplishing our true missions. It can be helpful with overcoming fear of failure or fear of making decisions. This is an oil that has been used in ancient times for romance. Interesting, I know. So if you want more romance in your life, I'm just going to tell you a tip that one of my good friends told me. She was like, visualize exactly the way you want your relationship to be, and then you'll know how to get there, right? And so if you want whatever when it comes to relationships, and I'm talking whether it's a mother, maybe it's a mother-child relationship, maybe it's a couple relationship, maybe it's a mother, maybe it's your parent-child relationship, whatever. Anyway, what I'm saying is coriander can help us take our personal responsibility back, and help us be a little bit more open to new possibilities when it comes to relationships. So let's as we're diffusing coriander, let's visualize how we want our different relationships to be. Let's really and really think with our own integrity, what do I really want most? And then let's go out and let's try to achieve that, right? Okay. Because coriander is so good at reminding us that we're all equally important, it could be a very good oil to diffuse when people are having power struggles. To remind us that we are not better than other people, we are not worse than other people. Everyone has our own viewpoint that is valid, and we all need to learn how to work together. Okay. I thought this was real fun. I found this in a book. Coriander is especially appropriate for creative individuals who struggle when locked into situations of predictability and routine. So, and as I thought about that, I'm like, okay, so if you're feeling like you're locked into routine and you don't like it, you're probably living by someone else's rules and not your own, which means that you're probably appeasing someone. So again, coming back to the core of who you are and maybe voicing a little bit more of what you need. Okay, remember coriander's gift, coming back to who you are, not giving up what you need to help other people. Not saying that helping other people isn't good. I'm huge about helping other people, but not sacrificing the core of what we need to help other people. Okay. I think this is super interesting, and one thing that they brought out in several books brought this out is that coriander is a gentle stimulant to people who need more energy, and it is also it helps to lower anxiety. It helps to relax people when they're stressed or when they're nervous or when they're irritable. So again, I think that's super cool. So many of our oils bring us into balance. So if we need more energy, coriander, it's going to be there to help us. And if we are stressed and we are irritable and we are nervous, it helps to relax us. Okay, anyway, I know super cool how something can work. Okay, it can also help provide a common influence to those who are suffering with shock or fear, and it can, if you want to feel more empowered, you could blend it with cedarwood, vetiver, cinnamon, or cardamom. If you want to feel more sociable, right? You can blend it again. Sometimes people feel less sociable, they might not feel equal. Or maybe they feel like I'm not going to socialize with you because I'm above you, right? I don't know. But if you want to have a more sociable atmosphere and where people are kind of more all on the same level, blend it with some bergamot, lemongrass, lemon, or ginger. If you, okay, so I think that's all of the emotional gifts of coriander. But I can't leave coriander without talking about, which is the seed, without talking about the leaf just a tiny bit, just like a teaser. So again, coriander is so good for people who tend to give up their power, want to do in life to help someone else, which can lead to a very depleted state. Okay, so that's what coriander is good for. But you know what? The leaf of the plant is good for the opposite. For people who tend to be controlling, right? They tend to be controlling. They're like, my way or the highway. This is what I want. This is what I want. Cilantro is amazingly good for that. Isn't that crazy that cilantro leaf is good for people who tend to dominate and control, and coriander is good for people who tend to be dominated and control? Both of them are going to bring this back to balance of everyone's opinion and ideas have worth, and everyone is of equal worth. I love learning about these essential oils. I felt like I knew a ton about these essential oils before I started doing these affirmations about 21 weeks ago, but I love research, and so I am researching these oils, and I'm learning so much more about the gifts of these essential oils. Anyway, so coriander, if you need to step back into not sacrificing yourself as much, and so that you can get on with what your real mission is, coriander I think is the perfect oil for you. Okay, so just reminding you that this week we are diffusing 2 drops of ginger, the oil of empowerment, 2 drops of Helichrysum, the oil for emotional and physical pain, and 2 drops of coriander, which is oil of integrity. And the song that we're listening to today is I Have a Lot to Offer. I think that's the name of the song. Again, I'll put that in the comments for you. And the affirmation for today is I have a lot of positive to offer in my business and personal relationships. Just going to repeat that again because I love it. I have a lot to offer. I have a lot of positive to offer in my business and personal relationships. And the affirmation for the week is I am drawing to me resources to complement my goals. Okay, that is everything for today. Can't wait to go into the physical benefits. Oh, really quick, before I leave coriander, I wanted to tell you the negative emotions that it can help with is if you're feeling controlled by others, self-betrayal, drudgery, or conforming, and the positive properties it can bring into our lives is being true to ourselves, living with our inner guidance, following our inner guidance, living with integrity, taking integrity for our actions, being responsible for them, and enjoying our own uniqueness. Okay, again, coriander can make us realize that everyone has a different gift to offer, and we are also needed in the world. So before I leave coriander and cilantro, I love how coriander and cilantro seem to be different sides of the plant. I out of a class that I took, and it was by a person named Tamara Fackrell, and I'll try to put her YouTube channel in the comments. But anyway, so Tamara Fackrell is a divorce attorney who is also has her doctorate in marriage and family counseling. Anyway, so she has a very unique perspective, and she was teaching a class on how to improve your marriage down at BYU's Education Week, and she teaches it almost every year Oh, if you've never heard her, you need to go. She is so amazing. Anyway, but this is what she said. She said, in marriage, you need openness, and people need to know the real you. They need to know what's bothering you. She goes, I have seen so many marriages break up because people don't share what they don't like. They're like, oh, my partners are just not gonna change, and so they don't share what they don't like. We have to share what we don't. We have to share what we like, right? We have to share what we like, but we also have to share what we don't like. So this is what she said. What she challenged us all to do. She said, if you're a person who tends to, definitely say things pretty easily that you don't like, hey, that offended me, hey, I don't really like that. She goes, this is what I want you to do. I want you to wait 24 hours before bringing it up. Okay? Because after you've waited 24 hours, you might not think it was a big deal anymore. And so you might choose not to bring it up if you think it's a little deal. However, if you're a person who tends not to bring up things, then you in 24 hours, you have to bring it up. You have to bring up what's bothering you. Because your marriage partner deserves to know. They deserve to. How can they change? How can they possibly change if they don't know what is bothering you? So this so reminded me of cilantro and coriander, right? Cilantro is like, boom, 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 do it my way, right? I don't like this, boom, boom, boom. And coriander is like, oh, I don't want to open my mouth, right? I'm just going to do it your way. I'm going to sacrifice myself. I'm just going to hold on. But you know what? Coriander people can then turn to be resentful and sad. And cilantro people can tend to be tend to be sad too, because their partner is like, I want to be around you because you're always criticizing me. Anyway, so what I'm saying is both people need to be open and honest. So that's my marriage tip of the day, which I don't usually give. Well, I don't know if I usually give, but anyway, it is a marriage tip of the day that if you tend to be very dominating and easily say what's wrong with you, then hold it back for 24 hours and see if you really need to say it, if you still think you need to say it. And if you tend to hold it all in, you need to bring it up. Let's start diffusing some coriander to give us some strength, remind us that we're equally important, and let's bring up what we don't like. And let's learn, obviously the coriander and the cilantro in the plant works together as one plant. And so let's all start learning to work together on more even levels. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to say with the shout out. This is Suzanne Williams with Essential Oils, Health Matters, and Living the Wholesome Life, reminding us that we are powerful. We can make it a great day. Bye-bye.